Howdy, gang.
Hi. Hi. Kiss.
Kiss. This is soft porn now?
Wow.
What the heck?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll kiss you. There you go. That makes me feel pretty good. Okay, well, we didn't do a video last week, but we're back in full force. We have 15 minutes. We've already used up a half a minute. It's a good half minute, though, I have to say.
Kiss for the next half a
Yeah,
minute.
let's just go for it, All right, well, I had in my mind to talk about something that's been on my mind, and that is being purposeful. I know we've got this little Christian concept of having the purpose-driven life running through your mind right now, but I don't know what that's all about. I have no idea what that book or concept is, what they were trying to sell. But what I'm trying to think about is just like if you don't take charge and do something with purpose, then life will just end up crowding it out. That's kind of the idea. Like, it's hard enough to just do positive things in the world. And if you don't work hard at doing those positive things, you will find all sorts of other things that will just take up your time and basically take up your life. So, for example, we tried to study the Torah. And when you study the Torah, it can take up, it's hard to do that because it's not something that you're always doing. You're working or eating or exercising or whatever you're doing, and it can be, Torah can be crowded out by other things that just take time. And if you don't purposefully put them in and work hard at doing that, then other things will crowd it out. If you don't make time to get together with your friends to study, let's say, like we do for our Torah club, it won't happen. You have to be the one that makes things happen. You've got to be the one that organizes it, sets a time, gets it going, make the work happen to be able to accomplish something so that you can walk away and say, hey, we accomplished something. We did something and it feels good, like we made a positive impact in the world. If you are raising your children, some of you are and some of you aren't, but when you go to raise your children and if you don't purposefully try to teach them and help them to be good little citizens in the world, then they just won't. If you don't have that purpose in mind, and you'll let other things crowd it out. You'll get busy doing your own projects or just lazing around even, and your kids will just simply turn out like they would naturally, which naturally kids turn out like little terrors sometimes.
Yep, it's true. I will add something. I was just going to say, so for those of you who aren't married yet, like it's good to find a partner in life who has some same common goals as you do in Torah and truth, especially. And, because pulling, your family along and making things happen is much more enjoyable and much better than just one person doing it. But if you're single and you don't have that yet, you be the one and make the difference and think about the things you want to accomplish in this world. And make sure that as you are looking around for a mate, you keep those things in mind, that you have goals in this life. Think about your long-term goals and plan accordingly, and make sure you're visiting with your potential mate that way.
Yeah. Yep. A mate can help you accomplish things that you can't accomplish by yourself. So having a mate is good. And the Lord made it that way so that when two come together, they accomplish much more than the two individuals could have accomplished on their own. It's beautiful. For sure. Yeah. But I like what you said about two pulling. I think of it as pulling sometimes. It being purposeful means you're working. And working is hard. And doing hard things and working is something we ought to strive for. We shouldn't just lays around. It's easy to be lazy and slump around, and I'm telling you, this world that we live in now makes it so easy to entertain yourself all the time. Entertainment takes no energy at all. You can just sit there and all you gotta do is move your little finger on the screen. It does nothing.
Or for some of you, go like this.
What was that?
Video game.
Oh. Yes,
Did you like
video
the
games.
sound effects?
I didn't catch it. Could you do it again?
It went.
So it's a video game of a rooster. And, yeah, okay. I got it. It was skidding cars. I understand.
Yes.
But it is funny to make fun of you.
But not that, like, watching something or gaming or any of that stuff is bad. But, in excess, we have to be careful. Anything in excess. We kind of talked about that at our Shabbat table this last weekend. Just, things in moderation are good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have a balance. And it's hard to find the balance point sometimes.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's really hard.
Yeah, each person has their own idea of what they want to do with themselves, and again, video games, yes, they can be a place that can absolutely take a lot of time away from things that are more meaningful, believe me. But there are other things that can take time away from being, I mean, they don't seem as for some of us who, we grew up with video games. We're maybe not the same kind of video games as are today, but I mean, there are other things that can take up your time. Mm-hmm. Even reading on your own, just to get away with reading the newspaper or the news, let's say, if you're letting your kids, if you're neglecting your family, or you're neglecting your own health, or you're neglecting to make friends or to do something positive in the world, okay, it takes energy to plan those things out. They don't just happen. You're not going to just have good friends. They don't just pop into your life, and you don't have to put any energy or any effort into it. You have to put energy toward it. You've got to be the one working towards some of these things and making them happen. If you're not purposeful, you don't put that in your mind even. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you have to think about it in your mind. Okay, I want this thing. It's a good thing. I hope it happens someday. Okay, yeah, it can just serendipitously happen. Right, somebody else with purpose is going to plan it and make it happen so that you can enjoy the thing you're wanting. Mm-hmm. But if you really want that thing, then you got to be striving for it. And not just striving for it in your brain, like, sure wish I had this, sure wish I could do that, sure wish I had this ability. Gosh, I wish I knew how to speak French. I really want to know how to do French. I hope French just pops into my brain someday. It's not going to do that. You're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to plan. You're going to have to get a program. You're going to have to go to classes. You're going to have to do things to make that happen in your life. Otherwise, you're just going to be the same guy who doesn't know French in the next whatever years. And, that's a good example. Learning languages. Why not learn languages? Should be doing that rather than, other things we could be wasting our time doing.
Also, I think as your life gets busier and you do start having children and raising a family, from a mom's perspective and point of view, there are lots of good things you can do in the day with your kids, with your household and stuff. But you can find that you're escaping even in your own house in the day, like maybe you're obsessing over how clean your floor is or how, organized something is when it may not be really what you should be putting your hands and mind to at that moment too. So, I don't know. Yeah, that's just this little side note. like there are lots of good things to be doing, but you have to prioritize even the good things, because you can do too many. You can be overwhelmed by just doing too many good things or not doing the best things too, like not taking care of your little kiddos the way you should, sitting on the couch reading with them because you are doing something else that maybe isn't as important, so you have to figure that all out. But
I think each one of you children has many talents, and I believe the best that you can accomplish many things in this world. You've been given a lot. You've had it pretty good. Like, you come from a family where your parents are together. You come from a loving home. You're born in America. That's another, opportunity. It's a land of opportunity. It still is. And you have a lot of things going for you. You got your health. None of you are, majorly sick. Okay, and you've got a lot of opportunity before you. Don't squander that. The Lord has given you all this opportunity not to make you comfortable, but to use it to do something with it. And it doesn't. Yeah, some of you might decide you want to go to some foreign country and help others understand the truths of the world and be a light there in some way for God. Yeah, that could be the thing you would do. Or you can just be a light right where you are in your own block, in your own family, in your own home, in our home here. I mean, some of you are still living here. You can be the good right now. You can help us push forward in some of our things, because we have aspirations. We aspire to do wonderful things. And it's one thing to say, I want to be great and do wonderful things, and it's another thing to get that thing done. You can tell yourself you want to get the thing done, but you have to make a plan. You've got to actually say, I'm going to go make a list of what it's going to take to do this thing. I don't know what that thing is, but maybe it's
Can I
start a Torah club.
interject? I just want to brag on you a moment, because I think
Brag away, baby.
I think you're the king of getting things done. Like this week, Dad was out one day fixing a problem on the car. We'd gone on our
Changing the axle.
little date weekend, and he's like, oh my gosh, this car needs some work. So he gets online and orders the parts and makes it all happen in the cold and whatever, and grabs Davi along with him, and it didn't fix the problem. But anyway, it did need fixed. But anyway.
Yeah, the part needed to be replaced, but it didn't fix the problem.
Then he came inside and he's working on jacking up the house so that we don't have that hump in the living room between the homeschool room and the living room. And, he just went after it, and he's just getting it done and making it happen, and he gets stuff done.
Came up with spider webs all over my head at midnight.
Yeah, and he was running sawzalls and sort of things like that, or I don't know, some sort of equipment.
It was reminiscing
like
over the
about
old
11
days.
or 11:30 at night. I was like, oh my gosh.
I remember, some of you kids remember those days where I'm just up there pounding and rattling around and building stuff late at night. It was one of those moments.
Yeah.
I wanted to get something done, and I was on it.
Yeah, good at that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And while I was doing that, your mother was decluttering the house and getting rid of comments for Passover's sake.
Working on it. Yeah.
So I'm doing my part. She's doing her part. But see, okay, we'll brag on each other now, because we're purpose-driven people. And you come from a family where your parents are pretty purpose-driven. Like, we want to get things done. We're going to make it happen, and we're not going to do a half job. We're going to do something full on. Like, we didn't have just one or two kids. We just went all the way. 13. And we tried to raise you with good things. Okay, and so in order to do that, in order to accomplish that, it doesn't just happen. That's the whole point of this video. It doesn't happen it doesn't just fall into our laps. Oh, all of a sudden, greatness happens. No, you have to work for greatness. I'm not saying I'm great. I'm just saying, if you want great things to happen, you've got to work for it. You've got to do something. You've got to put that input in there, or it just won't happen. Life will just keep running by you. The time just keeps flowing. And if you're just sitting still doing nothing, it's going to pass you by. And I don't want you to have regret when you get older. Right. You should feel good about what you've accomplished in this world. Not only for your sake, but for God's sake, right? I mean, it's good. God is glorified by the fact that His children and His creation are doing good in this world and working at it. I want my kids to work at it. I want you guys to work hard. I didn't raise you to be lazy, selfish, somethings. I want you to be out there making it happen. You got 45 seconds left, just so you know.
Yeah, I lost my thought.
So sorry.
But anyway,
you
yeah. I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna just quickly say, you guys all have you're all great kids, and you all have great potential, and
lots of potential.
And be the best version of yourself that you can be, and just live life to the full. It's the time for it. You're young. You've got energy. It gets harder as you get older.
You want to reach your full potential. You do.
Yeah.
God's giving you some potential. You got to work hard to make it.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah, love you too.
Love you guys.
Yeah, love you guys.
Good job. Keep it up.